I can.
Okay. Mike, I can't see you, but can you hear okay?
I can hear just fine. Thank you.
Okay. How about you, Jim?
Yeah, I'm good.
Mr. Waters?
Yes, sir, I'm here. I just don't have a video.
Okay, I can hear you. And Mr. Martin?
Loud and clear, Captain.
Okay, just want to make sure everybody can be heard. All right, we're going to bring this meeting to order. And Commissioner Martin, after last week, and I want to try to keep these virtual meetings as true to our regular meetings as possible. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And Zach, if you would bring up a flag for us to look at, that would make it even awesome. So how's that? We all got a flag we can look at. So if y'all would, you can repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, John. All right. All right, as we start this meeting, we had some emails that came in, and I just want to make sure, I'm just going to do like a roll call and see if everybody got the emails. And if they did, then what I'll do is I'm going to go through and just mention the names and whether they were for or against it, so we can save a little time if that's okay. But if you did not receive the emails, then say so, and I'll be more than happy to read them for you. So Commissioner Miller, did you receive the emails?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Commissioner Nayless?
I received them. I read them.
Okay. Commissioner Waters?
Yes, I received them.
Commissioner King?
Read them all.
Okay. And Commissioner Martin?
I've received and read.
Okay. I'm just gonna hit the highlights of those, the names, and just run through them. We're gonna start with a Martha and Seth Harrelson, who are in support of the bond. And let me get over here so I can scroll down pretty quick. And then we had Wayne and Minnie Truax, who are also for putting it on the bond referendum. Smoke Betts was also for putting it on the referendum. Amy Campbell is also for the referendum. David Bunger is against it. Jim Butler is for it. Cam Ornsby and Jenny Ornsby both for the bond referendum. Stephanie D. Williams is for the bond referendum. David C. Wagner is also not for putting it on the ballot. Gloria and Mike McKenzie are not for putting it on the ballot. And Heather Mahartman is not for putting it on the ballot. And David Richardson is not for putting it on the ballot. And with that said, we are, Zach, how do we need to, do we just do it as one fell swoop, or do we have to read it in stages?
So we got a script that that Brett sent over. So that's all for the comments we received after the public hearing on Monday. Then we can go into the script. Is that correct, Brett?
That's correct. Zach, you'd read it into the record, and then the board would make a motion to vote on it.
Okay.
After you're done reading the script.
All right. All right, the board is asked to consider whether to adopt the following bond order: adoption of public improvement bond order and authorization of bond referendum. The board adopts without change and directs the town clerk to publish as prescribed by the Local Government Bond Act, the bond order entitled Bond Order Authorizing the Issuance of 1.2 million in public improvement bonds of the town of Cape Carteret, introduced at the meeting of the Board of Commissioners held on July 13th, 2020. The question to be submitted to the qualified voters of the town of Cape Carteret, North Carolina, hereinafter referred to as the town, shall be whether to approve or disapprove A, the indebtedness to be incurred by the issuance of the bonds of the town authorized by that bond order, which indebtedness shall be secured by a pledge of the town's faith and credit. B, to the levy of a tax for the payment thereof, and C, that bond order. The question shall be submitted to the qualified voters of the town at bond referendum to be held in the town on November 3rd, 2020. 3, the town clerk hereby authorized and directed to publish a notice of that referendum, which shall be substantially the following form: the town of Cape Carteret, North Carolina, notice of bond referendum. Notice is hereby given that a bond referendum will be held in the town of Cape Carteret, North Carolina, the town, on November 3rd, 2020, for the purpose of submitting to the qualified voters of the town the question of whether to approve or disapprove not to exceed 1.2 million public improvement bonds of the town. The proceeds of such bonds would be used to pay capital cost of providing an outdoor multi-use trail commonly referred to as the Cape Carteret Trail, and the acquisition of any interest in real property required therefor. If such bonds are issued, taxes will or may be levied for the payment thereof. The bond referendum will be conducted by the Carteret County Board of Elections, in parentheses, the Board of Elections. Except for certain situations, the last day to register to vote in the bond referendum is October 9th, 2020. For more information concerning registration procedures for residents who have changed residences from the date of the last election, voting by absentee ballot, one-stop voting, and polling places, please contact the Board of Elections at 1702 Live Oak Street, Suite 200, Beaufort, North Carolina, or at 252-728-8460, or by visiting its website at https://www.carteretcountyNC.gov/434/Board of Elections. By order of the Board of Commissioners of the town of Cape Carteret, North Carolina. That notice of bond referendum shall be published at least twice. The first publication shall be not less than 14 days, and the second publication shall be not less than 7 days before the last day on which voters may register for the bond referendum. The Carteret County Board of Elections is hereby requested to print and distribute the necessary ballots, to provide the equipment for holding of the bond referendum, and to conduct and supervise the bond referendum. The town clerk shall mail or deliver a certified copy of this resolution to the Carteret County Board of Elections within 3 days after the resolution is adopted.
And
All right,
now the matter will be for commissioner discussion and approval.
Okay, so we need a motion to accept what was just read for the bond referendum to go on the ballot.
I'll make that motion.
All right, is there a second?
King, second.
All right, discussion.
This is Jim. I'd like to remind folks that this is not a referendum to decide whether or not the town should pay for a trail completion. This is a referendum to decide the mechanism for paying for it. The decision to actually do it apparently has been made at some point. The decision to complete the trail by the town is something that the board I guess did at some point when I was dozing off, because I don't remember it. What this referendum is how do we pay for it now that the board has decided it's important for the town to complete the trail? We had two options for how we're going to pay for it, either a bond referendum or doubling the ad valorem. If we go for the bond referendum, statute requires that the citizens vote whether to approve that mechanism for paying for their repair or the completion. If we go to doubling the ad valorem, citizens have no vote in that until next year when they throw us all out of office. So what we're voting on tonight is not an opportunity for the town to vote, the town to decide whether or not to complete the trail, because we apparently have already decided that. This is simply deciding how to pay for that. That's me.
Thank you, Jim. I'll just go with a roll call and get, if anybody else has got comments. Commissioner Waters?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Can everybody hear me okay? I understand that people have not been able to hear me lately. Can y'all hear me okay?
You sound good right now, Jeff.
All right, thank you. I'd just like to just on a couple of things. So what I read in the last meeting that we had, and that is the board did on 2015. But the start of this trail was always started when Gateway Western Cart Community Alliance with the Swansboro Area Development Foundation was assisting with fundraising and a kick fundraiser, and was held May 2nd, bringing an estimated 20 contributions and pledges. It also states in this publication last month the town appropriated $125,000 to the trail project, with $25,000 designated for the preliminary engineering plan. It also states that $25,000 is to be paid back to the town. Whether or not that money was paid back to the town, I have no idea. Also, in this statement, in this publication, this was done by Mayor Dave Farr. While it won't include the Highway 50 the plan, it will at least give bikers, walkers, and runners a closed loop. A closed loop that they can enjoy separated from busy streets until the full trail is available. But I like to iterate on the comments that were stated in the meeting by some of the people that were speaking from the public, in that there were people who were not able to run on side of the road on Ocean Road due to how big it was.
This one guy's breaking up.
Also, how dangerous the roadway is as well, which I totally agree. Ocean Road is a road that is driven by a lot of heavy vehicles, heavy traffic with big vehicles running 50 miles per hour. But I've felt that with trail, and if you say it's a closed loop, I feel like some folks are oblivious to the where it is the Ocean Road at our note. Cross that Ocean Road, go beside the Thorn Hill Club, and then back across the highway again. Now, how this can be safe, I have no idea. It does not make a closed loop. It makes it to be walking and trying to enjoy it as well. Let me make myself perfectly clear, everybody who's listening. I am not against this trail. It's simply for those who initiated it to complete what they started, and quit trying to put the burden upon the taxpayers of the citizens. Also, we have A lot of folks in this town are living on income. Do they want to see a increase? Absolutely not. Who does? I will say also this. Going to be in the future have to be taxes raised, maintain workings of this town. This if this referendum pass, on top of that, it be raised to maintain and everything else has to be done in this town. I just hope people will understand that and educate themselves on what this trail is all about before they go forward and voting on a trail. That's all I have to say.
Yep, couldn't understand
All right.
half what he said.
All right, Don?
I think first of all, I think there's been some confusion, at least in some part, on what this vote tonight is all about. First of all, we're not deciding tonight whether or not we're going to go out and seek a bond to finish this trail. I mean, we are deciding tonight whether we're going to put this out to the voters and let them decide. I don't believe that we as a board, we have not made a decision that we're going to use tax dollars to finish this trail. And this is just to decide how to do it. If this goes out as a referendum and the voters vote on this, if this is voted down, we haven't said that, well, okay, well, we're still going to use tax dollars to finish it. We'll do it a different way. We have not said that, not at all. If this referendum fails, then the voters have told us that they do not want us to get a bond to finish this trail. They don't want to use their tax dollars for it. And we're kind of right where we are right now, still looking for grants, donations, and, you know, hopefully someday it'll be finished. But that's what this is all about. And I believe that it just seems that a lot of people feel like we're deciding tonight whether to go out and get a bond, whether to get a bond to finish this trail. And that's just not the case. We've received a lot of feedback on this. We had quite a few people came into town hall last week and spoke in person. We've received, I couldn't even count, 15, 20, maybe 30 emails on it. I've talked to many, many people in my neighborhood out on the streets. Some people are very much for this. Some people are very much against it. I mean, it's a very polarized issue. They're either dead for it or dead against it, which is all the more reason that I believe we need to put this out to the voters. Let the people of this town speak and tell us as a voting population what they want us to do. Do you want us to seek a bond to complete this trail, or you don't want us to? If you don't want us to, then we're not going to be spending more tax dollars on this trail. We're going to continue to, as we are right now, continue to seek grants. And not even if we got the bond, that still wouldn't stop us from seeking grants. I know that town manager is actively working on grants, and there's one big one that I know he's working on now, which would help considerably, whether we get this or not. But I just want everybody to understand that we're not voting tonight on whether to go out and take a bond and spend tax dollars to finish this trail. We're voting tonight whether to put this out as a referendum to the voters, and the citizens of this town. They will have their say come November. They will speak loud and clear as a voting population whether they want us to do this or they don't. That's all I've got to say.
All right, Commissioner Martin.
First of all, Commissioner Waters, I could not hear you again. I apologize. I very much wanted to hear what you had to say. I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but I could not hear anything you said. I had hoped that I could hear your comments tonight. There's not very much that I could add to what Commissioner Miller just said. I mean, he absolutely nailed it. We're not here to show whether we support the trail or not. We're here to let the citizens decide. That's what it's all about. That's what it's always been. I do want to put one rumor to bed, though. The fact that people are concerned about maintaining the trail. That's what the MOTV tax is all about. We currently have well north of $50-some thousand in that fund that has never had a dollar taken out of it. And $50-some thousand will go a long ways to maintaining a walk path. I've been for letting the people decide the fate of the trail, but as Commissioner Miller said, if the referendum fails, we will not, passes or fails, we will not stop trying to obtain grants. I see one of our neighboring commissioners, Commissioner Nash from Cedar Point's watching this. I kind of like to model this after what they've done and obtaining grants to pay the bond down. I think it was a great thing for them to do, and I would like to mirror that in this town if the referendum goes through. I stand pat what I said to start. This is the decision for the town citizens to make. At the inception of the trail, $125,000 in their tax money was used as what the commissioners at that time labeled as seed money for this trail. So I stand pat as I have all along. I want the citizens to make a decision on this referendum. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner King.
Very briefly, I pretty much agree with what Don Miller said. If the bond referendum passes and we issue a bond, we can finish it a lot quicker. If it doesn't, if it fails, they don't want to spend tax dollars on it, some other scope will probably be in front of us on the board at some time. Probably less than the full thing. I would think to at least finish the part on 24. That's all I got to say.
All right. If there's no other comments from the commissioners, then we'll go for a roll call vote. I'll call your name out. Please give your vote. And I'll start with Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Nalitz.
No.
Commissioner Waters.
No.
Commissioner Miller. Commissioner Martin, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes.
Did I miss anybody? I'll just make sure. Okay, so motion passes 3-2. And with that said, I believe that's all the business we had this evening. I did just want to mention the fact that this past board meeting, we tried to do to cater to our people who didn't have the ability to get on the internet. And so we set up the podium and everything in town hall. I think there was confusion as to what we were trying to do there. We weren't trying to have 2 town hall meetings or have a town hall meeting there. This was simply to offer those that did not have internet ability or, were savvy enough to get online for these meetings to have their voice heard. That was pretty much it. So I apologize if there was confusion for that, but in our next regular board meeting, hopefully we'll have it more solidified and we'll try that again, because that's all that was just trying to make sure that, people who aren't able to get online were able to face the commissioners virtually and be able to speak their piece. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Okay, King beat you, Mr. Miller. Okay, all in favor, and I'll do a roll call once again. Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Waters?
Yes.
Mr. Waters? Yes, okay. Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Commissioner Nalitz?
Yes.
And Commissioner King?
Yes.
All right, thanks everybody for joining this evening, and Commissioner Nash, thank you for joining us this evening, Mr. Rudderman, and our guest callers, and Margaret Crow, thank you all for being here, and Brad. So everybody, hope y'all have a wonderful evening. And the staff, Zach, sorry, Jerry.